finals to go. Cardiff City 3, Wrexham 1, and well, the disappointment at the final whistle. It was cruel. When we lost last year, we were unlucky. We had a lot of the game, but we went into that match hoping that we could beat them. This time we go into the match knowing we could beat them, having beaten them twice since Christmas in Phase 2 of the Adrian Premier. And so it was frustrating to come out second best in this game. Although, I think you've got to get a bit of perspective here. Cardiff are winners. They are the champions. They won everything last year. They've now done the double. And we were capable of going into it feeling that we could win it. And I think that shows a lot of positive things. I mean, for me, Cardiff deserved to win. But it was an even game. And what they did to deserve the win was they showed quality in crunch moments. But it could have gone the other way. There were key turning points, and like I said, if maybe we'd been able to take advantage of a couple of the ones that might have gone in our favour, this game could have turned out differently. Cardiff are very, very good, but the truth of the matter is we are as well now, and this is going to be a rivalry to watch out for next year. So basically, we started out with a positive attitude, and when close in the 5th minute, our energy, our pressing is always on point, and this was really good. Amber Lightfoot, our two wing backs, played very high up the pitch as they tend to. Amber Lightfoot got a great block in and to stop Price from getting the ball clear. The ball ricocheted to the edge of the area where Lily Jones stepped in and won the ball. Found Abby Inden. She hit a really good strike from a good 25 yards, and it was unfortunate. It had the right parabola as it was going towards goal. If it had been about 6 inches higher, it would have been out of the reach, I think, of Chamberlain, who was able to step back and stretch and catch it. A little bit unlucky that, especially because within a minute or so, they'd scored because the ball did have that just extra bit on the trajectory. Between that, though, Cardiff did come forwards. Billingham, the tremendous run, beat 3 players going through the middle and was denied by Cara Jones, who managed to track her back and got a great tackle in on the edge of the box. The ball spun wide to the right flank, and Oldham picked her up in the box and drilled a horrible ball in, which Craven was not able to cut out. It wasn't possible, and it went along the face of goal, so close in, but nobody had been able to get in there. Billingham and Oldham, especially in the early parts of the game, were playing as split strikers, with Molly Keogh deeper than normal and prompting, and with Billingham having been tackled on the edge of the box and Oldham out there putting the ball in. There was nobody attacking the 6-yard box, luckily for Wrexham. But our luck didn't hold, because Shannon Evans did really well on the left-hand side to win the ball. Good quick feet just to get inside Lily Jones and feed the ball on. And Billingham hit a fantastic strike from 25 yards, dipping it over Lizzie Craven, who backpedaled, stretched, got a hand to it, but couldn't get enough of a hand to it to stop it from going into the net. Billingham was outstanding. And when I say about Cardiff taking advantage of individual moments, there were a lot of really good performances on both sides, and what was a hugely well balanced and entertaining match. But Billingham really was a class above. She was magnificent. That's the 3rd game in a row she scored past us from outside the box, by the way. And yeah, she just was superb, dropping between the lines and running at people. She was really hard to stop. She was aggressive in her shooting, and as you'll see when I carry on describing what happened, her ability to pass from deep and open us up was really impressive. She put in an utterly incredible all-round creative and attacking performance. Now, we responded really, really well to going behind, knuckled down and took control of the game in midfield. We had an opportunity, which would have been a heck of a goal if it had come off, but we are used to Edendon scoring hecks of goals against Cardiff. Ava Suckley-Dumas on the left, driving it in. Edendon back to goal with the defender tight on her, managed to flick it over her shoulder and spin the defender and hit it on the volley as it came down, but the strike was too close to Chamberlain. But we continued to pressure. A couple of minutes later, Suckley on the left once more, beating a player, sweeping a glorious ball into the far post, and it was so unlucky. Edendon attacking it unmarked, just couldn't quite reach it as she swung her foot at it to try and volley it in. It was, an attempt at a replay of the Sam Smith goal from Saturday, and the ball was just beyond her reach. But like I said, at this point, we're doing well. I mean, Lily Jones and Brooke Cairns are absolutely relentless in putting pressure on Cardiff when they haven't got the ball, and winning the ball back, in moving the ball quickly and trying to drive forwards, and then anchoring that midfield. Mary Gibbard really, again, a strong game, stepping in and linking things together quickly and efficiently, and making some important challenges as well. And she's tall, wins headers, so that midfield trio started to get on top of the game. And our wing backs as well. Like I said, Lightfoot did some good pressing and got into some nice positions. Cara Jones was absolutely flying down the right hand side, terrific turns and dribbles, and was delivering cross after cross into the box. We were looking good. Another opportunity came with Lightfoot feeding it down the left hand side to Suckley. Suckley drills it from out on the wing outside the box towards goal. Chamberlain can't hold it, it ricochets off it, nearly drops in the path of Inden, who had a tap in. It's just, again, beyond her reach. Cairns gets to it though on the edge of the box and drills it in powerfully towards the goal, where Chamberlain's still scrambling to get back in position. Huge clearance by Long, who manages to get it away from goal, or it is a goal. So unfortunate that for us. Although we did have some good fortune in the 25th minute, when Long, cutting inside from full-back, played a great through ball for Oldham, and the offside flag goes up against her. I felt at the time she looked more on than off, and having had a chance to look at the replays again, she's definitely onside. She's all alone through the middle. It must be said, she doesn't seem to hear the whistle, or the whistle goes too late, and she shoots, and Craven does save it. So maybe it's not that much of a let-off, but still, the flag, I mean, I'm not trying to moan about the officials, but the flag wasn't correct on this occasion. Still, 4 minutes later, they made it 2-0, and we had a real mountain to climb. Fionn Price standing a great free kick in. It's too far out for Craven to attack it, but it's close enough in to allow Shannon Davis to duck in between defenders and make contact with a really nicely judged header, just to loop it over Craven and into the net. And Wrexham, we find ourselves 2 down as we go into the 30th minute. Not good, despite the fact, we've probably got a bit more of the game than Cardiff at this point. We come back into it with a penalty. So within 2 minutes of going 2-0 down, it's 2-1. Although, I've got to say that we get 2 penalties in this match, and there's an element of generosity in both of them for me. I mean, this one, Cara Jones does really well to turn, drive and cross the ball in. Evans has to lunge full stretch and just get a block on it in the box to stop it from coming through to Iddenden. Iddenden chases. Karen Chamberlain runs along her goal line and gets there, but Iddenden gets there first. She stays behind Iddenden and catches her from behind, clips her with her toe. It's not a lot of contact. I think Iddenden's cute enough to go down and ask for it, and the ref gives it. There's not many complaints from Cardiff, to be fair, but I'm surprised. I've got to be honest. It was minimal contact at best. Anyway, Iddenden steps up. She's been clever, I think, and done well to win the penalty. And, well, Chamberlain's weirdly wrong-footed. Now, I was a bad goalkeeper. I'm just going to stick up for goalkeepers. And goalkeepers have no... you can never expect a keeper to save a penalty, and this is a really well taken penalty. It's drilled in the bottom left corner, no keeper's getting there, but Chamberlain doesn't move, and I thought, is she about to go the opposite direction as wrong-footed, which is fair enough. Didn't seem to be. She doesn't seem to be on her toes, and she didn't take a walking step towards where it and hit it, but she had no chance. Why am I saying this? It will become relevant in the second half, unfortunately for us. Anyway, we now, having pulled a goal back, are dominant, and the last 15 minutes of the half belong to us, but we can't get that equaliser. We have a couple of exciting moments. Cara Jones and Lily Jones working a tremendous 1-2 down the right. Cara whipping the ball in. Inden just can't quite time her header from around the penalty spot. And then a couple of minutes later, tremendous play by Gibbers, who turns on the right hand side and plays a nice pass in between the lines to find Cara Jones, who was tucked in. She drives forwards from 25 yards, pulls her shot, it goes wide to the target. So at half time, 2-1 down, but on balance we're been the better team, I think, in the first half, just about, and have shown a lot of threat. Cardiff, like I say though, have the mentality of champions. I mean, look at the men's team for Wrexham's mentality. When the chips are down, players step up. And Cardiff step up really well at the start of the half. Also, I think that they've had a little look at how we line up. And they start pinging passes just outside our back three, who, you know, by necessity play quite narrowly. With our wing-backs high at the pitch, there's space in there to try and exploit. Billingham keeps dropping off. Barry starts driving down the right, and they, two of them combine, not for the last time. Early in the half, Billingham dropping off, fabulous pass, diagonal pass to pick out Barry, running in, one-on-one on Craven. Barry drives it across Craven and just wide of the far post. But I said in the commentary, as a goalkeeper, I always felt if someone's one-on-one and they missed a target, it's either because they really messed it up, or the way I prefer to look at it, your keeper's got your angles really right. And having seen the replay from the other side, I really strongly think the keeper's got her angles right, because Craven, who was very good in one-on-ones, comes out really quickly, gets close to Barry, and, you know, if you look at it, there's very little of the goal that Barry can hit. She's got to try and pull it wide of Craven's reach, because Craven has got there and covered the angles so well. So great keeping by Craven, and it won't be the last time in the second half that she will step up. Indeed, within a minute, off we go again. This time, Billingham picking the ball up and feeding it to Olden, who's one-on-one with Craven. Allen's desperately trying to make a challenge from behind, and I think, unfortunately, doesn't make contact with anything, because there's real danger to give a penalty away. Olden, in the left channel, carries it into the box. Craven again attacks aggressively, and Olden loses her footing and has a poor touch, which nearly turns into genius, because Craven is just stretching to reach it when the ball's nudged out of her reach with her right foot. She, I don't know how she did it. It's great goalkeeping. She adjusts somehow the sort of her balance, the centre of gravity, and having extended and not reached the ball, somehow manages to extend again and just gets there with her toe and pokes it away. Tremendous goalkeeping. I mean, to keep your balance like that and go again, that's not normal. That was a great piece of keeping. But they are on top now, Cardiff. Yeah? Like I say, Keogh is intelligent in her movement and passing. Billingham is dropping off. Barry is driving on. And they are starting to trouble us and outmaneuver us, especially down that right-hand side where they're able to get in. Because, you know, like I said, our style of players, our wing-backs play higher. And Amber Lightfoot is looking to get up and attack. But they're able to attack that space behind. No criticism of Lightfoot. That's just the way it is. And another chance down the right hand side, Barry picking it up wide, going on a really good run, driving down the line, cutting inside and driving the ball across the face of goal. Craven just can't quite reach it. Karen Allen does superbly, right under her crossbar, having gone in one direction to change direction, stretch and get good contact on a clearance and get that ball away. Just before the hour mark, we start to come back into things. A really nice move starts when Allen makes an interception, feeds the ball to Widdenden, who clips it around the corner, and Lily Jones hits a powerful shot from 25 yards. Good stop by Chamberlain to deal with that. Trademark Lily Jones hit, where she hits across the ball to try and get power on it, but then also to just dip a bit at the end. And Chamberlain does well to keep an eye on it and stretch and reach it. A couple of minutes later, a big moment for us. We get a penalty out of the blue. I've got to say, it's not a penalty. Although there is one angle that makes me understand the referee's mistake. But basically, Suckley is played in the box. Sharon Evans stretches across her to try to make contact with the ball, and makes contact with the ball. That's how you tackle. Okay, the angle that makes it look a bit like a foul, you know, it does. Her leg then does catch Suckley like around just above the knee, and Suckley's momentum means she goes over her leg. But the ref immediately gives it, and I wonder if he would have asked for a penalty. I mean, I've got to be honest, there were a lot of clear fouls not given in midfield. There's a weird inversion of what you normally get, where we get one then in the box, which isn't a penalty. I have sympathy for the ref because, like I said, from that one angle it does look like it's quite aggressive, but from all other angles you can see, no, she's got a good foot on the ball, she's knocked it away, and then the contact afterwards isn't part of the foul. It's just Suckley's momentum carrying on into Evans' leg. So penalty's given. Inden doesn't take it though, Suckley takes it, and like I said, Chamberlain, as I mentioned earlier, was strangely flat-footed for the first penalty, and you sort of felt, well, if you don't hit it at her, she's not going to get there. But sadly, Suckley doesn't quite make the right contact with the penalty and hits it much too close, and Chamberlain still is a little bit awkward, but manages to stick her foot out without moving and kick it away. And that's a massive, massive moment. But there are a couple more massive moments. For example, the rebound comes out. Lightfoot does ever so well to get there and hit the ball on target. A really big block sends it behind for a corner. And then from that corner, Cara Jones plays it short. Gibbard feeds it inside nicely. And Lily Jones has got a chance from 15 yards left channel. Tries to toe poke it in early to catch the keeper out, but it hits the side netting. And we keep pushing, and there's another big turning point coming up just 3 minutes after the penalty. It's an opportunity for us where Chamberlain feeds the ball to Evans. It's not a great ball. It's not a great ball. She's about 25 yards out, and Lily Jones on her blind side, and she doesn't realise. Lily Jones steps in, tackles her brilliantly, and then lashes a shot in. Chamberlain is out of position, and Jones's strike, again, she hits across it like she does. Again, it's dipping, and it's a fraction off being a goal. It hits the bottom of the bar, bounces down, and then the cruel thing is there's an open goal, but it bounces. It takes a funny bounce. You know, when I saw it at the time, I thought this was unlucky because it comes to Widdenden, where, let's be honest, if she can head it, it's a goal because she's got an open goal from 10 yards out. If it falls to her foot or sort of area where she can kick it, it's a goal. Same reason. It bounces up awkwardly, like sort of just above midriff height, and she's got to take a touch. She just can't get enough pace on it with the first time contact. And the annoying thing is when you look at the replay of it, it does, like I say, take a bit of a hop, a weird hop. And I sort of think it was coming at the correct height, and then quite apart from the fact that she can't take it first time. Hello, Lottie. Oh, she says, oh, okay. That's Lottie, my cat. Sorry. Laszlo, the podcasting cat, is just having a nice sleep. He's used to her going mad in the afternoon. Yeah, so basically the ball takes a hop and comes up at her quite quickly. And already it's a difficult touch, and that makes it even more difficult because it arrives higher than you expect. And she brings it down. It's a good touch, to be fair. She does well to bring it down so she can get as early a shot in as possible. But to be fair, Jenkins comes in with a tremendous lunging tackle, just at full stretch, gets a toe to it and pokes it away. Inden swinging to smash it into the net, so Inden actually smashes her in the foot. Accidental, no yellow card, but it's a free kick, obviously, and the chance is over. But, you know, we are really pushing hard to get that equaliser. We make a change because we are pushing so hard. Rosie Hughes comes on for Mary Gibbard. Gibbard did nothing wrong, but, you know, we now got a chance to put Hughes in up front with Inden, Suckley in midfield, and have that extra amount of quality going forwards. Almost straight away, Cardiff make a chance. Free kick again in midfield, which Price is always going to put in a good area. Bowen is a bit unlucky. She does well. She wins it 10 yards out, but it's behind her. She does well to stretch back and get a good contact on it, but it's not possible to get enough of a contact on it to divert it on target. And then within a minute, there's another big confrontation for Craven to deal with. Barry, again, is the person that is going after her. Barry feeding it inside, getting a great return pass. Once more, Barry is one-on-one with Craven. Her first touch maybe could be a little better. And the reason that isn't spot on is that Brooke Cairns has absolutely bust her guts to get back into her box and put pressure on her and lunge in to try and make a block. And Barry is just put off by that, just that's a little bit of an overtouch, and when she drills it in, Craven comes out at the near post, again gets her angles right, and again makes a good block. But Cardiff now have started to wrest control from the game again and are starting to open us up and are making chances. Long plays a nice 1-2 with Olden and drills a shot from the edge of the box that goes over the bar before in the 74th minute they get the decisive third goal. Again, it's Billingham dropping deep and being class and hitting a perfect diagonal pass to send Barry one-on-one. This one, Craven has to come out of the box to attack it. She's got to. There's no other option. And Barry just gets there first, and this time gets a really good first touch just to nudge the ball out from between her feet and get past Craven, and she's able to knock it into an empty net and run away celebrating. And Cardiff now 3-1 up with 15 minutes left, and you think, okay, we've been brave, but this isn't our day. We make changes, bold changes again. Pritchard on for Lightfoot, which is interesting because Pritchard stays on the left. Against TNS, she was excellent on the left-hand side. And Katie Sharp comes on for Brooke Cairns, which may seem like a bit of a surprising one. And I've got to say, again, the Wrexham players who come off, they've all played well. It's tactical, all these changes, try and pull ourselves back into the game. And Cairns played very well. Katie Sharp coming on for her puts Nat Clark stepping up into midfield. And this rejuvenates us in the sense that Clark... I mean, she's a very experienced, intelligent player. And she's basically now sitting in front of the back three, which sort of allows the other 6 outfield players to focus purely on getting forwards. So, you know, you've got Lily Jones and Ava Suckley in midfield, and they really are driving on now and not having to worry so much about their defensive work, because Clark is assigned to be behind them and sweeping up, which she does extremely well. She puts in a lovely 10-minute vignette of how to play as a defensive midfielder, constantly getting to the ball, moving it quickly, intercepting, snuffing out Cardiff attacks at source. And we are rejuvenated and we go again. Pritchard very industrious down the left. Rosie Hughes' movement is really good and she's pulling people around. Lovett comes on for Phoebe Davis with 7 minutes left, and Lovett, of course, as we know, is very combative, and within a minute she actually starts off a move that leads to an opportunity. She wins the ball really well and then uses it really intelligently, feeding it inside to Suckley, who's come deep to try and help out her defence, and she spins and puts a ball over the top. Iddenden sprinting after it. Karen Chamberlain, and like I said, she's been a little bit flat-footed on occasions in this game, but consistently she takes a bold starting position, and it works for her. And this time she just gets there ahead of Iddenden outside the box and launches it out of play. Good work by the keeper. But Wrexham now are battling away, and the last 5 minutes and the 5 minutes of added time really are us throwing the kitchen sink at Cardiff, and Cardiff defending heroically to make sure we don't get a goal, because it had the feel of the sort of game where if you turn momentum and then get a goal, another one may well be coming. So the game's still there to be won. Lily Jones wins the ball really well, puts it into the box, the defender heads it clear, Suckley picks it up 25 yards out and drills a terrific strike. It's on target, and Jenkins has to hurl herself at it 6 yards out, gets enough on it. For a moment it looked like she deflected it into the top corner. It just has enough on it to go over. If she hadn't got the block in, Chamberlain would have had to make a good save, and there were lots of bodies to benefit from any rebound. So another close thing. And that sparks a series of well-delivered corners. Shannon Evans makes one excellent defensive header right underneath her bar. And then from another corner, it's cleared, but Lily Jones does really well to beat Kernock to it and drill in a shot through a crowd. Chamberlain does really well because she gets behind it, but it's got a lot of power on it, and she fumbles, but she pounces and pulls it back in really quickly because Iddenden is there looking for the tap in, and Chamberlain does ever so well to hang on to it. In the last minute, another opportunity. Hughes doing really well down the left-hand side, having a battle down that flank with Price. She manages to cut inside her and get a bit of space, stands a good cross out to the far post. Suckley is 6 yards out, heads it on target. Chamberlain as well, holds on to it. Suckley probably would have scored, but unfortunately for her, Shannon Evans is right in front of her and backs in, tries to get there, and they have a clash of heads. And clearly, she's in her line of vision because she hits her face. So, yeah, I think that makes the header a difficult one. If anything, she probably gets a bit too much contact on it. So after she's treated, Wrexham again, right back at Cardiff. Katie Sharp really doing well to win the ball, feeds it to the left. Pritchard works it down the line once more, and Hughes sprinting after it. Again, Chamberlain using that high starting position, races out of her box. She just beats Hughes to it, but Hughes gets a block on her clearance and it ricochets out wide. Hughes chases, gets there, beats Price again and pulls the ball into the box. Chamberlain again is alert and is able to beat Suckley to it in the goal mouth. And that's our last chance. We lose 3-1 and it was heartbreaking. I love this team. I don't think I do a very good job of hiding it. And to see the upset amongst them, sinking to the ground, frustrated. It was such a shame, But there is no shame in losing to Cardiff. They are champions, they are fighters, and they responded to a terrific challenge that we put to them. And the work of their three centre-backs, Bowen, Jenkins and Evans, was terrific. Long was intelligent the way that she would cut in. Equally intelligent, Barry Walklett and Keogh in midfield, and Billingham when she dropped off. They were a good team. And then Price, who's playing on the right rather than the left, because she scores a lot of goals, of course, cutting in on her right foot from the left, but Long fit again. She was switched over. Wasn't as threatening in open play as normal, but kept putting good set pieces into good areas, and they were a constant threat to us. They won it, and they're deserving winners of the double as well. They are a fantastic team and a brilliant setup, and that's why it's exciting that next year we'll try and go after them, because
Bye.